Now, speaking of someone who should be censored is our Bollywood Daniel Pillai,
Yes.
who is so passionate about this hot topic.
Absolutely. You know, the ones that the censor board need to be worrying about is me, okay? I am truly the uncensored, unfiltered one. And it's, you know, and the other person who's really passionate about this topic is Kamal Hassan. He's like 70, 80 years old now. None of his films seem to see the sunlight because they're just caught up in this, you know, all these fights with the censorship board, and his recent is too. And he calls the censorship board a childish trait in a grown-up society now.
And I agree with him. Remember Vishwarupam?
I don't even think that movie was released.
I know.
And he has more shade than an Atlanta housewife. Okay, hun? But now we have to really move on to the problem child of the censorship board, and that is Sunny Leone.
Sunny
I cannot talk
Leone.
about this without mentioning Sunny Leone. Now, you would think that all of her films are edited. Okay, look at this. This clearly made it to screen, honey, okay? Now, the problem with Sunny Leone is I think it's what she suggests, and it's the fear that she instills in the censorship board, right?
Yes.
But they still let these type of scenes see the light. And then it'll come to a simple kissing scene or the representation of homosexuality, and then suddenly it's a problem.
Right.
And I think it's about what the portrayal of these topics can do, what sort of conversations can occur.
Well, she's all about sexuality, right?
She
Even
is. Well,
on
she was
all
a
her
porn star,
movies. All of her movies,
Yes.
she's very sensual. But you know what? She's somewhat endearing, and I really kind of like her because
She's a sweet girl.
she's moving up on the chain, you know what I mean?
Oh, she's moving up on a lot of things, as you can see from this photo over here.
I
okay?
know, absolutely. Now, I know for sure that you're a big fan of hers.
Yes.
But what are your thoughts when it comes to female empowerment, and then the censorship board, and then Sunny Leone in between all types of sheets and things?
Well, I think Sunny Leone is a representation of that empowerment, being empowered with your body, the choices you can make when it comes to your body, your sexuality. Yes and no. And I think that we're not looking at those things, and instead we're just looking at what's physically being represented on screen.
Right. Now, I know some of her scenes in her new movie have just been cut out as well.
Well, it wasn't. Listen, they edited out a breast scene in not Ragini, sorry, Ek Paheli Leela.
Right.
But it wasn't even her breast, right? So there's all these things that are just, like, the censorship board doesn't really make sense. They're just too busy trying to, you know, stop things from happening that could, you know, move away from our sort of Indian values. And of course, Imran Hashmi, like, what values does he have? He has shown more tongue than a lizard and a frog on screen, honey, okay? And none of his scenes seem to be edited. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, he's a serial kisser in Bollywood. Mr. X, of course.
Well, Mr. X, surprisingly, is what he calls his first family film.
Right.
It got a U rating. You know, what about B for boring? Or W for waste of time? Or S for stupid and D for dumb?
Oh my goodness, you are so passionate. You are sweating up a storm already, Daniel.
The reason why that film, Mr. X, even though he's having a serial kissing scene and it sees the day of light, is because he's kissing and he's an invisible man. He's not really a person that's being kissed.
But that doesn't make sense.
So what are exactly, what makes sense when it comes to the censor board? Like, come on, tell me.
It is very vague, and it's very inconsistent, as always.
Absolutely.
Now, I can't understand this because I think the guys don't get the same backlash as women.
Okay, so for
unless
those of
you
you
are
who
a
are
gay
kind of
man.
confused by the scene here, okay, it's a homosexual couple in a bathtub, you know, and they're in love with one another. But this scene was cut out of this film because homosexuality is deemed inappropriate.
Right.
And it shouldn't be happening when it comes to Indian values, right?
Right. Now, they don't like the words lesbian. They don't like the word
gay.
The
word lesbian was cut out from a film, too.
Like, word to the censorship board, gay relationships, the LGBT community. That is not a Western invention, okay? That applies to all faiths, all religions, all cultures. Like, this is not something that we made up over here.
But I think these type of films are representative of where the Indian society is. We are evolving despite the sort of backward steps, B for backward here, okay, that the censorship board seems to be taking. When we see a scene like this, it's because there are homosexual couples in India. We are having gay pride parades. We do have a Selena Jaitley out there supporting us. We do have community organizations that are out there talking about these things that the censor board doesn't want us to talk about.
Absolutely.
Where is Modi when we need him?
Well, it's a very good point because I know he would have a lot of say in something like this. And I know certain people...
And I have faith in him. I really do.
I know. And I know some people would get uncomfortable with this scene, but I think this is exactly where we need to go with these types of conversations.
Exactly.
And I mean, this is not new. We've been seeing this from the 70s, 80s, 90s, including your girl, Madhuri Dixit.
Our conversation continues. And I know Madhuri Dixit's Choli Ke Piche was a huge censorship scandal. Thank God for piracy.
You, my darling, thank you so much, Dee. I know you will go on and on and on, and we will check in with you again because I'm sure we're going to be talking about all types of things.